The 2010-2011 Charlotte Bobcats basketball season is now in the books, and Dustin, through all the adversity the Bobcats went through this year, the injuries and all, this team was able to fight back and finish the year with 2 wins at the end of the season.
Yeah, they definitely played hard towards the end of the year, coming with 2 wins, especially tonight. 27 assists on 40 baskets. Everybody sharing the ball. And like Paul Silas said, it was good to get the last one of the season, last 2 wins, so they can go out into the offseason on a positive note and build for next season.
Again, being a coach, I know a lot of people say, well, you know, Atlanta may have been scaling back for the playoffs, resting players, which they did not, and you beat the team the other night, beating New Jersey up there in a close game. Those games don't mean anything, but they really do, because again, this team had been through so much this year with the injuries, with the trades, adversity on that. And again, that kind of speaks highly of these guys to be able to reach down deep and come in and play hard. And it's kind of interesting seeing too what DJ Augustine said, that we wanted to win. We wanted to win for ourselves, our coach, for our fans too, how these guys honestly did want to win.
Yeah, and I think it shows what they've done the whole year. You know, they fought through injuries, fought through adversity, trades, and no matter what, every night when they came out, they played hard. And that's what they need to say about this team. Yeah, if they would have been healthy, they probably could have made a run at the playoffs. They still made a run at the playoffs with all these injuries. So one thing you can say about this, and this is a credit to Paul Silas since he's taken over, is he's got these guys playing with confidence and playing hard. No matter if it's a guy who normally doesn't play at all, they're out there giving it their all and stepping up. And I think that's one thing you can say about this year. They laid it all on the floor.
You mentioned Paul Silas. As a coach, I've got to give Paul Silas a He's come in, this team, Michael Jordan made the comment that if Silas hadn't been coaching this team all year, they'd have been in the playoffs. So it held them in, probably in the playoff race, being banged up more or for longer than I thought they would have stayed in there, though. But they did a great job. And hearing him talk post-game in the post-game interview, I'm excited. I'm ready to start the season tomorrow.
Yeah, it's night and day what Paul Silas brought to this team. I mean, he brought confidence. He let every player know that no matter what your role is on this team, you're going to have a chance to step up and contribute. And that's what he did from your best players, Steven Jackson, all the way down to your bench players and Matt Carroll and Dante Cunningham. He gave it to these guys and let them know straight up that they're going to have their chance and to go out there and play with confidence and play hard. And like you said, Paul Silas, he just brings this energy to the team, no matter how bad they're doing or if they're on a roll. He knows what this team's capable of, and he knows what he wants for the future. And any fan or anybody that follows this team should be excited going into the next year.
Again, evaluating Paul as a former coach, I cannot think of a single player that played for Paul this year that did not get better in some way. And I mean, when you look at Gerald Hendersons, you look at Dante Cunningham, who really came on and made himself known the past few games. Kwame Brown. Players like that, though, again, great coaching job there, and the future looks bright for the Bobcats.
My biggest example of that is Kwame Brown, a guy who, with Larry Brown, he played spot minutes off the bench. Even when Paul Silas took over the first few games, you know, Kwame wasn't in the rotation until got hurt. Kwame comes in, Silas sits down with him and tells him what he's expected of, and to go out there, don't be afraid to shoot, play hard, do what you got to do. And I mean, it's night and day what Kwame's done. I know I keep saying night and day, but that's just what this team has done as far as since Paul's taken over. He's coming in from being just a spotty bench player who may not play to being a productive starter. 11 points, 8 rebounds again tonight. The other night he has a 23-point, 13-rebound game. And the Bobcats, you know, at the start of the year, everybody goes, why do we sign Kwame Brown? You got to remember, we signed him for the league minimum. We might have got more out of Kwame as far as contract goes than any other player on our team. So that was a great signing by the Bobcats, and he's a free agent after this year. They're going to have to look at re-signing him, albeit if it's a starter or a guy off the bench. I think he's a guy that needs to be here next year.
The downer about this game being over and the dust is settling, you hear in the background right now, they're putting the court up and everything, packing it up for a year. Don't have any idea when there will be another NBA game that a strike possibly looms here in the future there. You know, how will this affect this franchise along with NBA basketball in general?
You know, strikes and lockouts, that's probably the worst things that we don't want to talk about. Now we're talking about it with the NFL and the NBA, two of the biggest sports, and they're both facing the same issue here with the lockout. And from what I've heard, it's not looking too good so far. But I like what the players said. They don't care if they don't know if they're going to play or not. They're going to go through their same regimen. They're going to work hard in the offseason. Paul said himself he's going to get with these guys and he's going to make them better. And I like that they're not focusing on that. They're focusing on next year. I mean, they feel like that their next game's tomorrow. They're going to go out there and they're going to work hard. But you're right, there is some uncertainty there about the lockout. And it's going to be a wait-and-see kind of thing. Right now it doesn't look pretty, but you never know how things are going to change in the future.
I'll tell you what, it has been a fun year this year covering the Bobcats. Again, great organization, great people that we get the opportunity to work with day in, day out, though. Good year for the Lady Cats. They are defending two-time NBA dance team champions, though. Again, great organization to work with.
Yeah, and that's, even though we didn't make the playoffs last year like they did, I looked at last year and we said we had a lot of contracts tied up. We didn't have any flexibility to go make any moves. We were stuck with the team we had, who got swept in the first round. Now you got a team who didn't make the playoffs, but the options out there are limitless for what the Bobcats can do. They traded Gerald Wallace to franchise player, but look at the cap room they got. They spent $65 million on contracts last year. They're down to $50 million this year. And for people that don't know, that's a ton of cap room to go out and sign people. They got 2 first-round picks back in the trade. Like you said, the sponsors are going up. Season ticket sales are going up. Your Lady Cat dance team is defending champions back-to-back. There's so many things that the Bobcats have going right now. They may not make the playoffs, but I think the outlook after this season is a lot better than the outlook after last season when they lost in the playoffs.
That's true, and if you have not gotten your tickets for last year, some great deals out there. You can buy 2, get 2 free. Running a lot of promotions right now. Very exciting place to come for basketball, but not only, it's a fun environment. You can come even if you're not a basketball fan and have a good time.
Very exciting, and like I said, if you like basketball and you weren't sure about the Bobcats, now's the time to follow. Keep going back. You're going to last year, we had no draft picks. Now this year, I think people, the day after tomorrow, they're going to start asking themselves, who are we going to draft? Are we going to trade those draft picks and get somebody? Who are we going to sign free agency? And when you go in the offseason and you follow a team, those are the kind of questions you want to have. You have options. You get excited about stuff that can happen. And finally, I think for the first time in 4 or 5 years, the Bobcats have that. Their fans can get excited about something coming in, putting talent on the court, trying to build a winner. And, they may not have that great an organization so far in the first 5 or 6 years as far as winning goes, but I really think they're in the right direction to build a winner for a consistent future in the long term.
Well, the offseason officially starts tomorrow. The Bobcats will actually be having individual player meetings with Higgins and with Paul Silas and all. And it's amazing how these players are anxious to get back in the gym and get better. And I've said it before to my players over the years. Michael Jordan said it tonight. These players improve the most during the offseason. And the thing to remember is, if you're not working, somebody else is working somewhere. They're working out there too, and if you come head to head with them, you end up getting beat.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you look at giving out team awards this year, MVP, you kind of got a couple different guys because of the trades. Steven Jackson, when he was on the court, was probably the best player. DJ and Gerald Henderson probably fight for most improved player. And it's like Jordan said before tonight, and the way Gerald Henderson works, Paul Silas talks about it all the time. He's the hardest working guy on the team. Michael Jordan says he looks for Gerald Henderson to be an all-star in the next 2 years. And you can see on the court, 20 points again tonight. He takes big shots in the game, won a couple games down the stretch. And I think he's going to be your future on this team. And like I said, we're excited because we like talking about it, and we're ready for next year to get going.
And I'll miss having to wait till we play another game, though. You mentioned most improved. I could probably give it to half the team with the guys that improved. So we've had fun bringing you the games. This is Dustin Phifer. I'm Dick Cox for Cox Sports Broadcasting. Keep an eye on the Bobcats during the offseason, see how the draft goes, see if they make any moves, and hopefully we can get this season started back on schedule next year.
Absolutely. We'll keep you updated with all the news.
Reporting for Cox Sports Broadcasting, we're the dynamic duo.